Hello, fellow spiritual travelers. Welcome home to Unity Center of Cedar Rapids, a positive path for spiritual living. Our inspirational message today is one that will connect spirituality with your daily life journey. We're glad you're with us. I didn't get much sleep last night. It's just my most favoritist day. It's a toss-up between Thanksgiving Day and our candlelight service. But I was just so wound up about today and celebrating Thanksgiving and our leadership peeps that are in the kitchen as we speak. Can you smell it? Preparing an amazing feast for us all. So I hope y'all wore stretchy pants. I did not. I just realized I have a little room. And I hope y'all plan to stay with us. This is, do you know what year it is, Chris, of Thanksgiving? How old are your children? 8. Okay, it's the 9th. So it's the year before they were born. It's our 9th year of acknowledging all the peeps who make this community what it really is. A wild and weird place to be, right? It's not your average church. So if you think about it, nearly every single activity, and if you look at the Google calendar and the calendar that we have in Ruth's modified office area, there are tons of activities around here, and behind every activity is a volunteer. And behind every activity is volunteers, congregants with a passion about what they're supporting, the way they're serving, the people that they serve. And my earnest prayer is all of those who serve here at UnityCR can do so in such a way that your soul is truly nourished and that your spiritual awareness is truly expanded. Because that kind of energy, my friends, is the key to a thriving spiritual community. Yes? Oh, geez. That was hardly worth getting out of bed for. And that energy, my friends, is the key to a thriving spiritual community, yes?
Yes!
That was worth getting up for. So, your sacred service truly, truly, truly makes UnityCR a better place to be, because every single sacred service act, every single volunteer raises the vibration of the whole community. So I was thinking about this yesterday and wondering, why do you do it? Why do you give your time and your talent and your energy? We don't know. There's no other choice.
There's no other choice. You have something within you, and you have to express it, and you have no other choice. You must express it.
A calling. We have no other choice. It's like the Edwin Gaines line. Do not become a minister unless there's nothing else you can do. It is... But the reality is the only job from which I've ever been fired is banking. I was, I think, 18 or 19, which is, where's Vicky? Oh, she's in the kitchen, which is why I'm not the treasurer. I'm the minister instead. So it is a calling. It's the here I am. It's like we have no choice. I will go where I am led. Another thought on why you serve, why you give time and energy, because you're not giving it to a place, you're not giving it to a building, you're giving it to the people in this community. Lisa. The magic word. connection. Because through volunteerism, we connect. And now you're about 2 pages ahead of me. That's really great. So how has your giving changed you? How has it expanded who you are? You give and you grow. How have you grown? You personally. How do you grow through giving? How do you expand? Broader knowledge, bigger heart. You got a big heart.
Fat hearts.
Fat hearts. And we mean that in the best way. Yeah, healthy. Can you say one thing?
This community is, we're not really active in it, but 27 years ago, we stood in front of that window and got married with Lola Andrews. Some of you remember her. And there's a root here for us. Even though we travel a lot with 9 children and siblings all over the countryside, we come here to home. This is home. Thank you. Very much.
Now we're both crying, him and me. You know, and one of the key words that you used is, no matter where we go, no matter where we are, no matter how much we travel, we have roots. Our roots are here, and we come home. Which is also a couple pages ahead of us. You guys should have written a much shorter message. Here's a couple of fun facts. Our current active membership is 131. Current active membership. Our friends list, those peeps who are very active here, but as the quote goes, we're not joiners. Just membership isn't important to everyone. That list is just over 100. And I can't remember if it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, the license leader team and the board members sat in the Inspire room and wrote personalized thank you notes to each and every 2016 volunteer. And we wrote 112 cards this year. So if you did the math, 130-ish, 100 plus, that means roughly half of the people who are active here at UnityCR, and I mean active in showing up, about half of those people give of their time and their talent. And there's something interesting every year, and Ruth and I, to the very best of our ability, compile a list. And it's a spreadsheet like this, and all the different arenas in which people serve. And I went through that list again last night, and there's an interesting fact in there. Of all the people who serve, 2/3 of them are active in 2 or more areas. 2/3 of that 112. And many folks are, have an X in almost every column. So here's what I see as 5 common traits that you all share, all you givers of your good. You tithe your time and your talent voluntarily. Admit it, has anyone ever put a gun to your head and asked you to serve?
Well, it wasn't loaded.
And it's voluntary, so we do it without pay. And the other cool thing is, and I see this all the time, and it's why I weep every time we sing that song, Here I Am, Lord. I will hold your people in my heart, because the people who give here, you give from your hearts, and you give selflessly, and you give in loving ways. So we have tithers, we have people who give lovingly, and the other part the common trait that I really adore is watching how people shine spirit light, because that is unique to each and every one of you. Making my vat of cranberry relish in the kitchen yesterday morning, Linda Blacksmith and Lisa Klosterman and Corrine Fosnow and probably about half a dozen kids, just watching them play together and design their puppets and talk about their puppets and try out their puppets. She's right, like their personalities change when they take on their puppet. And the kids were just so happy and so proud, and the adults were just having so much fun. And that's what I get to see around here all of the time. So I think the reason why we give is it's out of a sense of investment, because we're each here to make this a better place. Like I said, it's not your ordinary community. It's a very unique community. We get that comment a lot, and I take that as a compliment. It could mean a lot of different things when people call it unique. But I think people give out of a sense of investment to help us rise up and to help us be a better place. And I think people give out of a sense of commitment, out of those roots that you're talking about. And I think Lisa touched on the final common element is that we have an interest in creating deeper connections at UCR. I know there are folks here today who are sitting in the same seat that I sat in for probably 10 or 11 years, invisible and flying below the radar. We come every week to get our daily bread that's going to carry us through the week. And many of us in the room also know that at some point that shifts. It's an imperceptible shift, but at some point on our spiritual path, we look over our shoulder and realize that we are no longer coming simply to receive, that we are coming to participate in that law of circulation. We are coming to participate in the giving and receiving. And we start looking at our investment in our spiritual community. We start looking at how can I plant my roots? And I think in that shift, that our desire for a deeper connection begins to rise to the surface. I mean, over those 10 years, I probably knew face to face, name and face. I knew Vern and Audrey Eggleston, and I knew Jan and Harold Armentrout. And I would say hello to them if they caught me.
If you weren't running out.
If bingo, that's what I was gonna say.
You were sitting, well, I sat right there.
Yeah,
In
in
the theater chair, right over here.
yeah, back when we had theater seats, you're right. That was a
Sat
couple.
like this, and you really were trying to hide, you didn't have a ball.
Yeah. Good memory, Dale, and that's quite a bit of detail.
You weren't hiding, really.
I prefer to call it flying under the radar. So where were we? Our desire to make a deeper connection rises to the surface. And we connect in a lot of different ways around here. How many have made connections at a brunch table? I hope that we make a point of sitting with folks, particularly today in our Thanks for Giving feast, that we make a point of sitting with someone whose face may be familiar, but we don't have a name and a face attached. How many of us have made connections in attending a workshop, a class, an activity around here? So, how many of you feel like you have made even deeper connections through your sacred service, like Lisa mentioned, through your volunteering? The first activity that I volunteered for, I think then I knew probably 6 or 7 people, Pat Schomburg being one of them. I knew 6 or 7 people that had a name and a face matched up. So I'm here to tell you this morning that with every act of sacred service is an opportunity for you to make your place at the round table. And it is an infinitely expanding round table. We are not about exclusivity, we are about inclusivity. And folks grow roots around here. Folks grow roots by stepping up and saying, how can I help? What do you need? My favorite words. My favorite words. How can I help? What do you need? What can I do? And the bottom line of what we're celebrating today and my favorite day is the ways that we engage through our giving. So if you are one who is sitting quietly in your seat, not quite slouched, but kind of low to the ground, if you are sitting in your seat, flying below the radar, and if you are here to receive your daily bread, I want you to know we are delighted that you are here. We are ecstatic to meet you where you are and provide you that spiritual support and that daily bread. And I also invite those who are sitting in the seat that I used to sit in to tuck this into your hat. That if one day you would like to stand in your spiritual community, and if you would like to be seen, we are ready for you. And the thought that came to me yesterday was, we're in a hurry for you, but we are ready for you. Do you hear that, Dave? Wah, wah. That can't be adjusted?
No, there's something just happening.
Somebody's energy, Erica. Wah, wah. Are you expanding over there? Okay. That one's off. All right.
I think it's time for us to thank you.
Oh, now that's embarrassing.
This lady, when my son was killed, was the first person to come forth from this church and say, I'll take care of the food, don't worry about anything. And she's been strong in my life. Thank you.
The comment was, and she doesn't even cook. And the thought that went through my mind was, and Sally understood that didn't mean I was going to cook, but that Bill Graham would take care of everything. So much for flying under the radar. Thank you, Sally. So, for those who have stood, the 112 plus, we always miss a few. For those who have stood throughout the year and said, here I am, how can I help? What can I do? From everyone who sits around you, in front of you, behind you, beside you, we say from the bottom of our hearts, thanks for giving all year long. We are so deeply grateful for all the ways that you give and for all that you give. And here's my blessing. May your lives be stupendously blessed. Through the simple act of participating in the law of circulation. As we give, so we receive. It is an upward spiral of infinite infinite measure. So let us come together in this energy of community. And I want to, as we head into our sacred altar time, our time of turning within and our time of turning to the silence, I hearken back to some words that Chris used in his prayer this morning. Often when we think about gratitude or speak about gratitude, it's from a place of being grateful for something. And I'm reminded of the great New Thought teacher, Reverend Eric Butterworth, who taught us that gratitude is a causative energy. As we immerse ourselves, as we anchor and center in and from the energy of gratitude, our lens of life completely shifts. Completely shifts. Who we are transforms. How we show up transforms. And I truly believe that it's more than an attitude of gratitude. I truly believe that gratefulness, gratitude is a way of being. It is a way of living. It is a way of showing up. And I believe it's about more than an exchange of being grateful for something. I believe that gratitude is a causative energy. As we live from a heart of gratitude, our whole world becomes a different place. And so today, in that energy of gratitude, my heart dances in celebration for each and every individual in this community, those who have come before, those who are here now, and those who are on their way. And as we turn to the silence, I invite us to bring one another into our hearts. Grateful, 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 always giving thanks. And so it is. For the next few moments here, we'd like to celebrate some folks who have chosen to make a commitment here at UnityCR. So I invite forward some of the members of our Exploring Unity team. Susan Liddell, Licensed Unity Leader. Barb Buchanan, Licensed Unity Leader. Jan Griffith, Licensed Unity Leader. And many of you know that here at UCR we offer a course called Exploring Unity. And this course is about introducing folks to Unity, some basic tenets and some history of the Unity movement. And that is taught by these three folks. And then in addition to that, students are oriented to the particulars of UnityCR via, the word virtual and via came together, via a walking tour of our center. And then finally, and this fall, the walking tour was Barb Buchanan, right? And Barb Cromvita, who's in the kitchen. Do we have that right? And then finally, the folks who are interested in membership get to meet with an Exploring Unity team member for a one-on-one discovery session. So we get to flush out those roots and the gifts and the talents. And the folks who led those sessions this fall were Jan, Susan, Paula Land, I saw Gladys somewhere, Gladys McMiller, and who did I miss? Jan, is that everybody? Jan, Paula, Susan, and Gladys. So we hold this ceremony today to honor the conscious choice of those who elect to stand for membership. And Dorothy, I want to know, are you comfortable standing right here? Is that better than getting up on the platform?
I can get up there too.
Okay. Chris? And then this is Dorothy White, and I also call forward Diane Bobby and Polly Friend. Thanks, Chris. Okay, and if I talk too long, Dorothy, just go like this, and if I talk too long, just go like this, and I'll quit, and you can sit down.
Fine, we're fine.
Okay, cool. Just stay upright, okay? So what this is about is a ministry is first the individual, and ultimately the collective spiritual consciousness. And these three beautiful women, Diane, Polly, and Dorothy, are joining a spiritual community made up of individuals who see this divine presence in one another. And with your choice of membership at UCR comes the opportunity to stand for commitment, the type of commitment that we talked about in today's message. And there's a scripture found in Romans that goes like this: "For as in one body we have many members, and not all members have the same function." Thank you, God. So we who are many are the one body in the Christ. And we unite as this one body known as UnityCR to freely give of our divine gifts and talents as we work and play together, connecting spiritually with one another. We're strengthened individually and as a community by our study of truth principle, and we are dedicated to activating these principles. So as a spiritual community, we engage, we equip, and we empower one another in demonstrating truth principle. With your pledge of membership today, we invite you to join in our mission of spiritual awakening and sharing the wonder and joy of God's love. Just as you are making a commitment to your community, I invite our congregation to stand and affirm their commitment to you. Friends, do you welcome with receptive hearts and open arms Dorothy, Polly, and Diane to membership in our community? If so, respond saying, "We do." Do you promise to walk the spiritual path with these beloved ones, supporting them in their endeavor to study principle and to live from their true nature? We do. Dorothy, Polly, and Diane, are you willing to walk with your fellow spiritual travelers along life's path, supporting them in their endeavor of studying truth principle and living from their true nature? If so, respond saying, "We do." My beloveds, this is your spiritual community. And together, as you know, we ride the surf of joy and we weather the waters of strife that seem inherent in community. Because of our members' commitment and ownership, UCR stands strong, rooted in the invincible strength of the one mind, body, and spirit. And I invite everyone in the congregation to join with me in affirming our statement of truth to our new members. I stand in my light for your victory. Together, I stand in my light for your victory. You may be seated. Not you, Jan. Not you. Stand up. Oh, yeah, I'm doing it right now. Diane, Polly, and Dorothy, as minister of UnityCR, it is my privilege on behalf of the Unity Center of Cedar Rapids to receive you into the active membership of this center. And we all extend to you the hand of friendship and our loving support. We are blessed by your presence here, and we are blessing you with your official member certificate with the story of Unity, our gift to you, and a beautiful rose. And your book report isn't due until next Sunday, so you have plenty of time on that. I'm impressed, Susan. You came really prepared. Not your first rodeo. Let's give a cheer for our newest members. I behold the Christ. And we have a little song to sing on your behalf. It's number 65 in your hymnal.